What's going on, my crew? This is Jay, and welcome to another episode of Jay's Adventures. And in today's episode, we are going to be talking about some satellite spots. Satellite towns, I guess. Could have sworn I just heard a... villager turn. You're dead. So, last episode, we kind of... I brought us over this long windy path, and I realized that I had gotten way off the path. Eventually I want to go through these trees and then circle around, but this right here, I thought it'd be cool to have a staircase here and a bridge to kind of cross up here. But this will allow us to kind of figure out some satellite towns, I guess, is what I want to call them. Towns that we're going to settle just because they're in between. The way I'm figuring it is that these towns in specific were formed along the basis of location, or perhaps while they were building the road, they needed to stay there because maybe there was a winter time or something like that. So what we're looking for is locations that look suitable for life, or locations halfway. I'm really not concerned, obviously, for lumber wise, because there's lots of lumber all around. What I am concerned about is the possibility that there could be something extra around, something not usually found. For instance, we have a lot of sheep in this forest, so maybe there's that. Flat terrain. So we've got this, but we've got a river, and we've got this huge mountain. So it's not really a good spot to plop a town. Let's see here. It's really mountainous everywhere, but if we can find a spot, because we are at a sort of point right now where we're almost there. I'd almost like to say that somewhere around here would be a decent location for something, but again, there's not that flat area. And these towns are not going to be intended to be large towns. They're just going to be sort of in between things. But you know what we could do? This is a very good defensible spot. We have these huge places in between, and then if you look, we've got right here this sort of flat terrain up to right about here, and then we've got this bridge. So if we put the bridge here, then what we can do is we can sort of have this plateau type town, and we'll lower some of these mountains in the middle here, but we could have some a plateau type town where there's walls on either side, and then this right up here can be fortified, and we can have some stuff. So we'll put a gold block right there for that. Just an in-between town. They would probably charge for you to stay there, and toll bridge type deal. It's also a great defensible position, because if the military on either side, if either of those towns get invaded, then it makes it very easy for the city government or the country government to be able to keep the defenses blocked off at one point or another. So we've got this trailing off this way. We know that there's this volcano here, and over there quite a ways is a town. But this place right here wouldn't be too bad of a location for a town that's near the road. And I wouldn't mind... We've got this little mine here. Of course, there are a lot of mining options. Uh-oh. This makes me feel good. Oh, boy. There are a lot of mining options already. So, having another mining town, unless it's specifically a mining town, is not really necessarily something on my list. This is too far out, of course, for another town. So, I don't know. Maybe we might just stick with that one town right there. But I wouldn't mind another town right here. Well, there would be a town right there. And then you walk across, and then there's a town right there. How difficult would it be to plop a town somewhere out here as sort of a lumber town is my question. And just have... But that's kind of out of the way. I don't want to make anything out of the way. If I was to make another town, I want it to be in the way, if you will. Something where you have to enter it. Or at least see the town in the distance. And see, that's way off the path. And you wouldn't even be able to see it. Even if there was a path that way. And maybe we might put a town over there in the future. But right now, I don't want to deal with that. I want to keep it as real as we possibly can. So we can just follow this path, see how long it takes us. It's only a day's journey or less on this path. And once we clear things out a little bit more, I think it will be a lot less of a path. As well as later on, we'll figure out a better path to travel. And I mean, this path will always be there, but as time progresses, people will find better paths, better ways of doing things. Okay, so there's the town right here. So my question is... Alright, well... You know, I'm really liking this town. I know Varuk said that he's really liking this town. It's really grown as a town, and it's one of the things that I really like to do is I like to show growth in the town through this. If I just sat here and built a city and said, okay, we're going to build a city, you know, it wouldn't be as much of an adventure. And part of Jay's Adventures is, well, having an adventure. So I hope you guys understand that part of what's going on here is this world is literally developing right before our eyes. And we don't necessarily know exactly what's going to happen. We don't know if there's going to be happy times or bad times coming. All we know is that we have these two towns. And we are connecting them now because this town, of course, has been taken over. You know, at some point, I'm kind of controlling a few variables. But for you guys out there, I'm telling you a story. And you don't necessarily know what's going to happen next. So, for all we know, there could be a rebellion that pops up. There could be another war with another country that we don't even know about yet, but I'm working on secretly. You just don't know. So one of the things that I want to really focus on is I would really like to focus on what we're doing right now. Let's not worry about necessarily all the things in the future or how many towns we're going to place. Right now I want to work on this road. I want to connect these two dots. And continue to work on that beer processing and all that stuff. Maybe get some fishing stuff going. So let these 2 towns grow. Let the roads start to be built. And yeah. I'm really, really liking this, guys. I'm really enjoying Jay's Adventures more than I ever have. But that's going to do it for today's episode. And until next time, happy mining and crafting.